Throughout our normal routine, as we go throughout our days, we often find ourselves in many different kinds of conversations. It is interesting to think that some of those conversations may be more important than others. I have come up with 3 conversations that I find myself to be a part of on a regular basis that may be more important than other conversations I have. These include discussing future goals, memories with friends and family, and checking in with loved ones. A general theme amongst all of these conversations is that it allows me to connect with people and often brings joy. Connecting with people and sharing joy with them are important in their own sense, which is why I find these topics of conversation to be most meaningful. I plan to discuss the reasons behind each important conversation in the same order I presented them, discussing future goals, memories with friends and family, and checking in with loved ones. Being in college and on the ridge of adulthood, a common conversation I have is my plans for the future. This topic comes up over and over, and with graduation approaching, I find myself discussing my future goals even more frequently. Many different people ask me what I plan to do, including friends, professors, family members, and often people that I just met. I feel this is an important conversation that takes place on a regular basis, mostly because it benefits me. Moving on and finding your place in this world is exciting and interesting, which is why the question comes up, but when it does come up, I'm able to benefit. I'm able to explain my future plans and tell a lot of different people, which helps me know I'm confident in what I plan to do. It allows me to hear my ideas out loud so I can hear how they sound. If talking with a friend, I'm able to listen to their ideas for their future, which can help me straighten my plans out and also provides me alternative suggestions that I have never considered. Also, when I tell people my goals, it gives me my motivation to accomplish those goals. For when I see someone again and the topic comes up, I can tell them that I am pursuing my goals and share the steps that I am in to reach them. Another aspect on why this conversation is important is that it allows connection between the individuals having the conversation. This shows the individual asking is interested in my future and cares of my well-being. When asked what I plan on doing in the future, I am able to start a conversation that can be beneficial towards me and allows me to know the individual who asks is truly interested. For these reasons, I find this topic of conversation, which occur on a regular basis, to be highly important. Another important conversation that occurs on a regular basis is discussing memories with friends and family. Very often when seeing a friend or family member, I find myself reminiscing on a time that most often than not is an enjoyable memory. This conversation brings joy and allows me to connect with the person I am talking to. We can discuss a funny moment from the past or a time that we went on an adventure. I find this conversation to be important because it brings a good feeling when talking about it and leads to laughter. It reminds me of a great moment of my past and time that we shared with friends and family. This conversation can also be important because it can remind you of something you might have forgotten or haven't thought of in a while. This can restart a memory and shed light on a great moment from the past. Reminiscing can happen in a brief moment or even last for hours, but allows me to connect with my loved ones and continues to bring joy. For these reasons, this topic is most certainly one of the most important that occur on a regular basis. Lastly, a conversation I find myself in almost every day is checking in with family and friends. I will often be in my vehicle and make a phone call to a loved one that I haven't spoken to in a while, or I'm just curious of what is going on in their world. Every day, I will call my parents just to see what they are up to. I will often call my grandparents to check in with them as well. Many times I will call friends that are attending different colleges and universities to see what they have been doing and how things are going with them. Some of my friends have moved to different areas of the country, and I rarely see them, so I find it important to keep in touch. I feel this topic speaks for itself as to why it's important. This conversation keeps me connected with the ones I love. It shows my friends and family that I care of them and wish to continue hearing from them. It also informs me on what is going on with everyone to ensure everyone is doing just fine. This conversation is important because it consists of a connection between people and brings joy when it takes place. For these many reasons, I find checking in with family and friends to be an important conversation that occurs on a regular basis. Our routines throughout our daily or weekly lives consist of many types of conversations with individuals. Although many of them are different, I find the ones that allow me to connect with people and bring joy are the most important. These topics of conversations occurring on a regular basis that I find most important include discussing future goals, memories with friends and family, and checking in with loved ones.